The idea for my iVideo began with an image in my mind of a pregnant lady. When you're pregnant, everything that you do and take in affects the development of your child. And I wanted to take this idea and apply it in a much bigger sense. The baby in the womb represents all children in the world, the youth growing up. And what the pregnant lady eats represents what goes on in society, essentially what we're feeding the minds of our youth, and the impact we're having on them and how they turn out. My original storyboard began with a pregnant lady eating spinach and the fetus getting stronger, and then it continued with a series of images of a pregnant lady eating or taking in things that would have an effect on a growing mind. A good education leading to success, sports and outdoors leading to a healthy active adult, and then negative images like knives and guns leading to a criminal, for example. When I showed this to my classmates, however, they understood it to be a commentary on how pregnant women should be careful. I was just trying to use that image as an analogy to how our behavior as adults have an effect on the growing minds of our youth. I realized I had to lead away from the image of the pregnant lady that was so dominant in my storyboard and focus on my intended message instead, although I did still want to start with that image to retain the analogy. I had this idea, and it was a very powerful idea, but I was having trouble translating it onto the screen so that my audience would understand the message. I finally decided that I needed to just get images of influences, both negative and positive, that youth faces today, and then show how they're affected by them. There's nothing new or surprising in any of my message. It's intended rather as an eye-opener to something that's there, but that we just don't see where it's taking us. The images I used are powerful images. I wanted to shock the viewer. I laid them out in a sequential pattern to make sure that the message got across. I was concerned about the quality of some of the images though. I tried to use only very large images, but I was limited by the fact that I was searching only those with Creative Commons licenses. I did use some pictures of my sister's children, out for a hike, canoeing with their grandfather, out camping as a family, but because I got these from Facebook, the quality is not as good as it could be. Love is a very important value in raising a child, and I thought that the hugs were a nice way to wrap it all up, to show a young girl being hugged by her mother, and then an older girl hugging her father, an image of love and respect and feeling good about themselves, and their self-confidence growing from there. As for the music, the song I ended up finding was even better than expected because of the way it builds. It grows in intensity and finally explodes. It tells the viewer that this is serious and it's getting worse. It's going to keep building and building until it collapses, until it comes crashing down on society. And if we don't do something about it soon, it is going to blow up in our faces. So let's watch the video and see how the music and the images fit together. I like the way that the images change with the beats of the music. The words come up as well. That gives a good feel to the video. This is actually my son here. And the image of the television was one very much of, what kind of influence are they getting in their lives? What kind of things do they watch on TV? And from that you could extend it to further on outside of their lives. And then these are just some famous pop stars being sexy, and this is just images I found, girls proudly portraying that they're sluts, and these girls, if they couldn't be more than 14. The violence was something that I felt it was as a result of the lack of close-knit family values, or lack of love, lack of self-confidence, all things that come from there. And there's some very powerful images. And then to tie it all together, I had some good images, but I needed to bring in more. I think I didn't have enough of the good stuff, and so I found more. And on Mike's suggestion, I added in the family working on the computer together. And the final image with the credits, I wanted to bring the analogy full swing and just close it up with that. And watching it, I almost feel like this woman's looking over the viewer's shoulder and saying, be careful, because what you do is going to affect how my child grows up. Don't mess things up. I think it all pulled together pretty well. It's very happy with the